Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to All Ball with C and E. We do not have C this week, but we have our fan favorite. Everybody loves him,
Yeah.
Mr. AJ. How
Yep.
you doing? How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. Chargers aren't here, but there's still football to be played. So, you
Hey,
know,
but you're an honorary Eagles fan. You are.
yeah,
You told me that. You informed me about that. So
yeah.
I know
My
who you
my
want. I know
family
who you
will
want.
hold me against. They'll hold me against my will to root for the Eagles.
Exactly. That's
So
how
I'll
we.
be there.
That's how we do it in Philly.
Hmm.
All right, but yeah, so we're gonna talk about the championship games that are happening this weekend. Coming down to there's 3 games left in the NFL. Who would have thought this season has flown by? I mean, it does every season, but every time we get to the end, everyone always is like, "How did we get here?" You know. But
Oh, a
yeah,
long off season then. Not
it's
for
always
you
the.
at least.
What do you mean?
You guys are still in it.
Well, I guess that's true. But even when the season's over, even if they make the Super Bowl, I mean, it's still gonna be
Like
a
you make
long
the
off
Super Bowl,
season when
win
it's
the
over.
Super Bowl, you got a nice off season to just
That's
relax
a
and
good
kick
point.
your
I mean,
feet up.
it's a good off season either way.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about Eagles Commanders and then Chiefs versus Bills. Obviously, 2 great games here this weekend. I feel like these are 2 great matchups for the championship games. So yeah, and also if we do have time at the end, we are going to start talking about NBA. But
Hmm.
don't hold us to that because we don't know if we'll have time or not. Um, so we'll start with game on screen right now. My Birds, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. This is the I-95 matchup for the NFC Championship. Uh, Most expensive NFC Championship of all time, or championship game. I forget which one it is. Yeah, the get-in price is like $620, I think, and then the average ticket price is like 1,300. It is a pretty penny
Wow.
to go to this game, as it should though. These are 2 division rivals that. I mean, this is the first time the Commanders have been in the NFC Championship in 33 years, and obviously, with the Eagles being back in the NFC Championship, you already know Philadelphia is going to go crazy. I mean, and they get to play it at home too. So, what are your thoughts going into this game? Because obviously, a lot of my thoughts are going to be biased. I mean, your families are Eagles fans, but you would obviously look at this from a more unbiased perspective.
Well, first thing I see is that the Commanders are +6 on the spread. I mean, I don't know how many times they're gonna keep doubting the Commanders. It's like
That's a
they
good
were
point.
they were I
I
think they
don't
were
disagree
plus
with that.
9 versus the Lions,
Yeah,
which is
because
just
I'm
so crazy.
pretty sure it was the big. No, it was that was either the biggest spread or the Chiefs game was the biggest spread. But I don't fully
No, I
remember.
think Chiefs was like 6.5, but I mean, still Commanders at +6. It's like for a playoff game, especially a division game where, I mean, sure, like the second game that you guys played, like the Eagles were blowing them out, and then, Hurts got hurt. I mean, which we still haven't even heard anything about Hurts' knees still. I mean,
Oh no, no, they already confirmed he's playing. He might just
he's
be
playing, but
Well, yeah,
he's
but
like,
they just said he might be on a
yeah.
brace. He fully practiced today, so
He's playing, but like last time he played the Commanders when he started off, he had what, like I think he had 4 carries for like 40 or 50 yards. Like he was
oh, we were
ripping
torching him.
them.
We were
Yeah.
torching him.
So it's like, I think that I think it's definitely going to be a little closer than 6 point spread. I mean,
Well, here's the
obviously
thing.
Commanders have the worst run defense in the league, and Saquon will control the game. But I think what happens is with the Eagles' run game is that, I mean, you're eating up clock, and if the Eagles don't score, then it's just going to be it's still going to be a closer game.
Yeah, the spread seems high, but at the end of the day, you got to remember, like this could still be a 1-score game, even if it was like the winner was supposed to would win by like a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the thing.
I think it's
I
more
feel
of like a game-winning field goal kind of game, though, rather than
that's true. I could definitely see that, and that would be the cherry on top for Eagles fans if Jake Elliott hit the game winner, because that would just be so
Yeah.
funny. all the bad kicks this season. I feel like every kicker has been terrible this year, but Jake Elliott has been getting a lot of shit. because he did miss 2 extra points against the Rams, but he did have 3 really clutch field goals in that game too. It's like he only makes kicks when it like kind of matters.
I mean, I think Matthew Stafford just threw that one away though. Like the fact that it even came down to a 6-point game.
I don't disagree with that. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't have.
Like you let Saquon had what, like 200
yeah,
yards?
I know. I'm pretty sure they ran for like 300 yards overall. Well, here's the thing. I just don't understand at the end of that game why they didn't just keep running the ball. Kellen Moore is so annoying. Like, he's a great offensive coordinator, but he makes questionable decisions sometimes. Like, I don't know why they went play action boot on that second down that that hurts. He slipped. People's like, oh, he slipped or something like that, but he was gonna get sacked anyways. It's like it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, I think the thing with the Eagles is that you gotta get. I mean, they're trying to get Hurts ready to pass the ball sometimes because it's like not that the Commanders, obviously their run defense is awful. So I mean, you're gonna try to expose that, but at the end of the day, I mean, your quarterback has to be able to get the ball. Like AJ Brown that game, I think he had like 7 targets and I think he only caught like 2. So
he dropped a literal touchdown. He dropped a perfect touchdown pass, just so we're clear here. He did drop that. And Smitty was just dropping a bunch of passes last game too. I feel
like he's losing chemistry with those receivers.
But the thing is, though, it's like when you there was a stat that I saw was like in the playoff games where Jalen Hurts throws under 155 yards passing, the Eagles are undefeated, and in games where he throws over 155 passing yards, I forget what the record is. They're either like 1 in something or they don't have a single win. I think this just proves that it's like the Eagles just have to play their game and they'll win. They don't like Jalen Hurts. If he needs to win the game, he can win the game. But he's not going to be a guy that lights up the box score because he doesn't need to. When you have the best offensive line in football and you have the best running back in football, it's like, why do people care so much that he isn't throwing the ball? It's like, obviously they're going to rely on the run game.
I think when it comes down to it, if the Commanders actually somehow, some way, like play any bit of run defense, the fact that they can score the ball at such a high,
I think is going to be really big in this game is going to be Dallas Goedert, because Dallas Goedert wasn't in the last time they played.
Yeah.
So that's one, and he played really well against the Rams. I think that went kind of under the rug. I think I don't remember the total yardage, but I'm pretty sure I'm almost positive he was leading receiver.
With like 50 yards.
Yeah, but it's like, again, like when
Saquon runs for 200, yards came from
and then people also ignore the fact that like Jalen Hurts had 70 rushing yards and a touchdown. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that touchdown was pretty good.
I know. He broke that tackle, went for 44 yards. All right. So, we've talked a lot about the Eagles. Let's talk about the Commanders now, because this was a game that me and Cameron, we both thought that the Lions were going to win, and they were going to win pretty comfortably. But what ended up happening, in my opinion, is I think the Lions, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from the Commanders. Commanders played an amazing game. When you drop 45 points on any defense, that's unbelievable. But I think in the long run, the Lions IRs, their players that were on IRs, it finally caught up to them. I'm pretty sure they had 16 players on injury reserve, and like the top 5 were all players on defense. So yeah, I think that's kind of what happened. But then again, Jaden Daniels, Goff played like shit too. That's another thing too. He played really bad.
Himself for being a fraud.
Yeah,
just like
he played really bad. He had the fumble early on, and then he threw the pick 6, and then he threw another pick.
Because he had that concussion, and they just threw him back out there, and
that's possibly what could have happened. But he fumbled before then, anyways. I don't think Goff was on point.
There was nothing. He tried to tackle him on the fumble, or was it on the interception?
No, that was on the pick 6. The fumble came first because the fumble was on like their second drive or like third drive or something like that. It was early on in the game.
But then Teddy B came in, and they scored in like the first 3 plays, and then it was
a reverse run play.
I
Teddy
don't
B
care. That's the aura that Teddy B brings to the
Why?
field.
Because he's a high school.
He has 2 gloves on.
Well, and he's the high school state championship. As a
Yeah,
coach.
like, yeah, I mean, he comes in, 3 plays, they score. He comes out, 3 picks. Or 2 picks.
I mean, you're not wrong. But, yeah. So I feel like when I watch the Commanders since the last time that the Eagles played them, it's obviously I think this is I think this is a different Commanders team than even the last time the Eagles played them in like week 15 or whatever it was. Obviously Jaden Daniels, he threw for 5 touchdowns in that game, but he also threw 2 picks. However, I think he played amazing in that game, but I think he is really starting to hit his stride right now, and as is the whole Commanders offense. And I think it's because Jaden Daniels has fully grown up in NFL terms. This dude hasn't thrown, did he throw an interception against the Bucks? I don't remember. He might have
Against
thrown
the
one.
Bucks? No, they didn't
I don't think he did.
turnover.
I don't think he did. But yeah, he is playing like he has like a 30 BPM right now. That dude is so relaxed in the pocket. Even if there's like 2 guys coming off the edge and they're about to like just straight up hit him full force, he's so calm in the pocket. I think that's what's really putting the Commanders over the top right now, and that's why they're in the NFC Championship. It's just because of how calm and collected Jaden Daniels has been throughout these playoffs.
I mean, Daniels, one thing I did notice is that I think between the 2 games, he's only taken 1 sack. I mean, 1 sack, and
that's what I mean. Like, he's not
did they turn the
panicking
ball
and back
over
there.
versus the Lions? I don't think so.
No, they didn't. That's the thing.
So
None
far
of
they
the
have
teams.
no turnovers, 1 sack. I mean, that's just like he's
None of the
managing the game
teams-
perfectly.
None of the teams that won the divisional games had a turnover, and every team that lost the divisional games had at least 1 turnover.
Yeah.
Oh, except the Texans. My bad. The Texans didn't have a turnover.
Yeah.
But that was the first time in, I forget what it was. It was like they outgained the Chiefs. They did like everything better in the box score, but they still lost. It was like the first time ever in the playoffs.
Where the touchdowns at? Not there.
Yeah. All right, back to this game though. So again, like you mentioned earlier, this is the worst run defense in the league. Now that is the regular season. But they did just give up, what was it? They gave up like 200 plus yards
Jahmyr
against the
Gibbs
Lions.
still had 175 yards, so
I think that was scrimmage yards in total, but he still averaged like 7-8 yards a carry, which could obviously will bite the Commanders in the ass if they don't get that cleaned up. So what if we're being honest, they're probably going to stack the box. But that hasn't really mattered this year that much. The only time I've seen there was only 3 games this year where Saquon ran for under 100 yards. I could be wrong, but it was something along those lines. Even in the game against the Commanders where he had 150 yards on the ground, it was the game where the Eagles lost. His first half was really good. His second half wasn't great. However, the second half obviously was with Kenny Pickett. So the Commanders just stacked the box and they just went full out on the run because there was no passing threat throughout the second half, and a lot of the Eagles' drives stalled because of that.
Well,
so yeah.
I mean, I think that Daniels obviously is having. He's gonna be the best rookie quarterback to ever play. Especially
100%.
if he somehow pulls out this game, makes it to the Super Bowl. I mean,
he's the greatest. He might be the greatest. He might be the greatest rookie season in sports history.
And it's
rookie,
Herbert. I think Herbert might be up there though, but Jaden Daniels, I have to give him his flowers.
Did Herbert didn't make the playoffs his rookie season, right? Did he? I'm just asking.
He didn't.
That's the thing. And if Jaden Daniels goes to the Super Bowl, I don't know, dude. That's pretty wild.
But the difference is Herbert didn't have Terry McLaurin.
That is true. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that.
Terry McLaurin, I feel like
he did have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams though.
Yeah, but McLaurin has been the most slept on, overlooked receiver for the last his whole career basically.
Well, I know that. We obviously know that, but also guys like De'Ami Brown and Zach Ertz are stepping up big time too in that pass game, which is really
same
helpful.
with Eckler. Even though
Eckler is playing really well in the
hurts,
playoffs. He's been playing really well.
He had I mean, I think he had 2 plays in that game against the Lions where he had like a 30-yard run, and which I never saw in my life before. But then,
No, you have. Please, no, you haven't seen it in the past like 2 years.
no, I don't remember that on the Chargers. But then he had a good, I think he had like a 20-yard catch too. So I think
Well,
that
you
the
definitely
thing
saw
is
that.
with the Commanders is that they have the weapons to win, but I think it'll come down to the fact that their defense is just so awful that if Jaden Daniels
I wouldn't
doesn't
put it past
up
them that they're
points,
so awful. I wouldn't do that.
no,
That's too
they
harsh.
were
in my
like they were
opinion.
like a bottom half team in points given up.
Well, okay, but that doesn't mean they're an awful defense. Like they're still their secondary's good. They have
I mean,
Marshawn
they did
Lattimore
just
and they
give
have
up
Mike
500
Sanders still.
yards to the Lions.
Okay, but they also forced costly turnovers that ended up winning in
that's
the
just
game in the
golf.
long run. Dude,
Like,
I hate that. I hate that. What are you gonna say? The Eagles are a bad defense because they almost lost the game against the Lions? Like you're not gonna say
But
that.
they didn't give up 500 yards to the Lions either, and they had Puka Cooper Kyron, which is like one of the best
but like
offensive
again,
weapons.
like I feel like the Eagles defense throughout the game they had a great game, but like towards the end though they really didn't play that. They didn't play that crazy. But throughout the game though they forced turnovers when they had to, and that ultimately ended up costing the Rams in the end. Which was the same thing what happened to the Commanders. The Commanders forced that fumble. They got the pick six. They got the other interception, and they got the other interception with JMO when JMO threw that one. I think their defense is slept on. Obviously, if you like look at box stats and stuff, yeah, like they're not the greatest, but they're still definitely a very good defense, or not very good, but they're still definitely a good defense.
It's not that they're
You
like,
can't make it this far
like, I
into the
don't know.
playoffs with a horrendous defense. You can't. It's
I
very
mean,
rare
the
that
Lions
that
made it.
happens. The Lions made it. The Lions made it because they ended up getting the 1 seed from throughout the regular season. Who knows what would have happened if they flipped spots with the Vikings? Like I feel like the Rams could have done the same thing to the Lions as they did to the Vikings.
Yeah, but the Lions already beat the Rams though once.
That doesn't
earlier in
matter.
the season.
It's fucking playoffs, dude. That means nothing.
No, I mean,
You
dude,
saw the
we said
difference.
that-
You saw
we
the
said that about
difference.
Saquon. We were like, okay, Saquon had 200 yards against them in the beginning.
I
of the
never
year.
said that. I never said that. What are you looking at? I've never said that. Why would I ever say that about Saquon? Did I think he was going to have 200 yards? No. But did I think he was going to get shut down against the Rams? Absolutely not.
Exactly. So you knew he was going to probably go off more than likely.
Okay, but what's going off for him at this point? Like, is 150 going off? That's
his
not
line
necessarily.
is at 130.
That's the thing. Like, going off right now for him
So,
is like 200 yards.
Exactly.
I don't think he'll get
Exactly.
200. I don't think he'll get 200 again against the Commanders. I don't think so.
Again.
What do
Did
you
he already
mean?
have 200 once?
He had 200 against the Rams. He's only done 200 twice this season and they were both against the Rams.
Well, I know. Oh, he was 2 yards short against the Commanders the first time they played. But
Is that might be total yardage? Are you on the real app? Because
I
you're on the real
I
app.
only care about total yardage. I don't like when you
okay.
get 200
I guess that's
yards,
fair.
it's like you get 200 yards. Like
I guess that is fair to look at like that. I was talking about rushing yards. I don't know. But if that might have been the only other time he's done 200 this year in total scrimmage yards.
eh. Well, either way, I'm taking the over. I'm taking Commanders +6, and I'm taking Eagles money line.
Well, there it is.
I'm just
so
putting
what,
that
what's
out
the
there.
actual score prediction then?
Actual score prediction is going to be 28-25 Eagles game winning Jake Elliott field goal.
The redemption for Jake Elliott. And that's hey, I'll take your word for it, man. You've been pretty accurate on some of these in the past. Every
That's true.
episode you've been on, you've been nailing them right on the head. Like
I don't think it'll be as high scoring
think of
as
some of the
last
other
time, but yeah, there was one game where I was like 1 point off. I forget which one it was, but
I don't remember which one it was either, but I know what you're talking about. And then you also, when we were doing college football, you were talking about Georgia versus Notre Dame. You literally hit like the exact reasons
that was awesome.
why that
was
game
hilarious.
was what it was. That was pretty crazy. All right, but if I had to make a prediction on this game, I mean, obviously I'm obviously not gonna take the Eagles. I'm obviously taking the Eagles to win. I don't know if it's a game-winning field goal. I think if everything goes well, if the Eagles run the ball unreal like they have the past couple games, and also obviously throughout the whole season, I think this game could get ugly because it was going to get ugly in that last matchup against the Commanders, but then Hurts got the concussion, which ended up hurting them a lot, obviously, because they lost the game. If I had to make a prediction on this game, I would go. I say the Eagles win 31 to, I'll say 23. 23 or 20.
31 in the snow?
This was one score game. I think one score game.
31
You said
in the
28.
Snow. Yeah, because 20s in the snow is realistic, but like 30s in the snow is like.
Is it supposed to snow again? I don't think it is. Game kickoff time. Kickoff time is supposed to be like 40 degrees, and the real feels like 33 or something.
Dude, exactly. Might as well be snowing.
Dude, are you stupid? If it's not 32 degrees, it can't snow.
I know, bro. But it's gonna be cold though. That's all that matters.
All right, whatever. Well, on to the next game where the entire nation is rallying around the Bills right now. I don't care if you are an AFC East fan. I don't care if you are not even a football fan. Nobody wants the Chiefs to win this game, and I'm right there with them. I cannot stand the Chiefs anymore. Dude, you're a Chargers fan. It should be even worse for you.
No, that's the thing. I'm a Chargers fan, but the last person I want to see win is Josh Allen. So
why? That's weird.
I don't know. I've just my whole entire NFL fandom, I've just never gone behind Josh Allen once.
Interesting.
Like I'd rather see the Chiefs win and lose in the Super Bowl than see the Chiefs lose here and even. I mean, the thing with me is that I rather see Mahomes end up being the GOAT over Tom Brady.
Here's the thing, right? There was a while even when people were still hating on Mahomes after he was starting to get good, I was even like, he's still fun to watch. He's a great player. He runs the ball a lot. He makes crazy plays. Like Brady, a lot of the time when Brady was playing, it was annoying to watch because he would just go out and win. There was no
his defense
fancy
was just ungodly good every year.
That too. I mean, we're not going to take anything away from Brady though.
I'm taking everything away from Brady. That dude he's the least talentless GOAT. Least talent. Like when you think of GOATs of sports, you think of like a LeBron or like a Jordan, who's like the most skilled players of all time.
I think of somebody that has 7 rings. That's who I think of. 7.
Like 7 rings, thanks to that ungodly defense, bro. Number 1 defense like every year.
Okay,
almost.
we're not here to talk about Brady, but and then last year there was, I don't know if you remember this last year, but when the Bills played the Chiefs, I'm sure you remember this play when Travis Kelce threw the lateral to Kadarius Toney, crazy name, but then they called the offsides penalty, and then after the game, Mahomes was just bitching for the wrong reasons. All he was saying the whole time was just the play. Basically, this is what he said. The play was so good that you can't call a penalty there. I'm like, that's the most childish shit I've ever heard in my life. And ever since then, I've really not liked Mahomes since.
I mean, like
it was funny where I went out to dinner. Where I went out to dinner tonight, it was actually really funny because they were playing a rerun on the TV of that game, which is even funnier. That's why I even thought to bring it up. But what were you saying?
I mean, the thing with Mahomes is that I think this season, the amount of times I've heard the Chiefs didn't even play that good, how did they win that game, is like a crazy. And I think that's the thing. I think you can only blame the refs so often. Like, sure, some of the calls have been timely, but I think at the end of the day, it's like you can't blame a whole win coming down to one call.
That's what I said. That's what I said about last week's game. I'm like, yeah, the refs sucked, but like at the end of the day, you can't. I mean, the
Texans scored 1 touchdown all game. Like that really just can't happen, bro. Like they had so many offensive yards and just didn't get in the end zone. That's simply put. Like the 100%. Chiefs defense has been like a top defense.
Steve Spagnuolo literally might make the Hall of Fame as a coordinator because he wasn't good as a head coach necessarily. But But since he's been the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, dude, those Chiefs defenses have been like next
the Chiefs
level.
defense has given Mahomes countless times to, even though Mahomes has been somewhat struggling, which
And this
I
what-
will
this
say
what
that
me
he
and Cameron-
doesn't have the best weapons, but I mean,
He still has Travis Kelce though. I mean, I know Kelce hasn't had the greatest season, but it's still Travis Kelce.
But in terms of receivers, they have been like Worthy.
Okay,
has
in all
been,
fairness, that's technically Mahomes' fault because he took out Rishi Rice at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but then Worthy hasn't even really been panning out to been.
Yeah, I know. Worthy's low-key
what he's
been
supposed to be.
not great.
And then you have Noah Gray and Justin Watson and.
Well, here's the thing: is he was supposed to. Xavier Worthy was supposed to just be a compliment to Rishi Rice. That's the thing. And now that Rishi Rice is hurt, Xavier Worthy's the best receiver they have, and he's not a guy that's going to go out there and he's not going to make a bunch of catches because he's just a deep threat guy like Jameson Williams is. Obviously, I think Jameson Williams is better, but they're the same. They're similar play styles where they just make explosive plays, and that's their job. And that's why Jameson Williams isn't the number one receiver on the Lions. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that's why, and earlier in the season, before Rishi Rice got injured, Rishi Rice was the number one receiver, and then he got hurt, and then Xavier Worthy ended up being the number one receiver, which is just not, his play style is not meant to be a number one receiver.
Well, I mean, one thing I will say is that Kareem Hunt has to be the best pickup of this season of any team, bro.
I know, he just came in and just absolutely balled out.
Yeah, because, bro, I don't know if you saw that clip when he got back in Cleveland when he got pulled over by a police officer. Bro was crying because he wanted to go back to Kansas City, bro. He said he missed Kansas City.
I did not see that.
I'll have to send it to you, but he missed Kansas City, and this is exactly what he missed, bro. And now he's come back, and Pacheco's like a second thought now. I think he had 5 carries last game. He didn't even do anything,
which sucks because I think Pacheco was really on pace for a great season before he got hurt.
Yeah, but the thing with Pacheco is that I think he's just he's not a versatile player outside of just being a hard runner.
I don't think Kareem Hunt. I don't think has many catches this year either. Kareem Hunt runs the ball too. I swear to God.
I swear
we looked this up last time.
He doesn't catch.
I looked this up before. In total, his scrimmage yards this year is 900. I forget what
he has 108 or 172 yards catching. When you think about it, the Chiefs haven't even really been playing that great offense, anyways. So it's
I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think I rounded up on these. The yardage wise, because they're on my page, they're all perfectly rounded. So I think I rounded up. So I don't know what Kareem Hunt has, but he's not as crazy.
176 receiving yards. He averages 2 catches a game.
I guess it's.
2 targets, 2 catches.
It's more
what can you do,
I guess
bro?
it's more versatile. But I think Pacheco would have been would have been just as versatile this year. He just never had the opportunity because he got hurt.
And now he really doesn't have an opportunity because.
That's true. That is a good point.
One thing I will say is that I forgot. I didn't even name D-Hop. But, D-Hop literally didn't do a single thing last game.
Well, yeah. I forgot about that. Holy
exactly.
Shit, I forgot about D-Hop. D-Hop was so good when he first got there, but then he just, Loki is just,
because he's old.
Hasn't done anything. Just hasn't done anything recently, though. But D-Hop,
I think D-Hop will come up big this game, though. I just feel it.
That's fair. Okay, we're blabbering on. I think we're blabbering on too much about just, individual players. We got to talk about the game as a whole. Obviously, these teams, they played once earlier this season. The Bills, I'll say this, the Bills are the only true loss for the Chiefs because their other loss was the last week of the season with a bunch of backups in. So it's a pretty perfect storybook that the Bills are back here playing the Chiefs again. Obviously, Josh Allen has been in Mahomes' shadow. There's no denying it at this point. Obviously, he's great against Mahomes in the regular season, but then the playoff hits, and he's never beat Mahomes. But I think this is the year that the Bills can get by them. Because earlier this year, Josh Allen, I think obviously regular season games are not like playoff games, but I think that just proves that there's something. Like I said, they're the only true loss are the Bills this year for the Chiefs. So I think this is finally the year where Josh Allen gets over the hump and they get to the Super Bowl. And the reason why I say that is just because I think Josh Allen this year, when he's had to make plays for against any team, any single team, he has made them, and that's why he's in the MVP race. Obviously, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all the finalists later. We both don't think it's going to be Josh Allen, but he has played like an MVP level this season, and I think he's hit a different stride this year than he has in the past, and I think that's ultimately why the Bills are going to end up taking this one this go around.
I mean, the thing is like, man, I mean, the Chiefs, boy, like, they whooped on the Bills the first time. Second time, they literally, like, the fact that Josh Allen has had to, like, complain to make an NFL rule change just to try to beat Mahomes, and then still lose to him that following year.
In all fairness,
there's no fairness,
what
bro.
are you talking about? The overtime?
They were complaining about overtime rules and then lost the following year in overtime.
What? No, they didn't.
I swear to God they did.
They didn't lose in overtime, I don't think.
I'm pretty sure they did.
I don't think they lost in overtime. The only game that has went to the overtime was the Super Bowl last year. That was the only year, was that Super Bowl game.
Are you sure?
Almost positive. I don't think the Bills... No, the Bills, didn't they lose... Who did they lose to last year? I don't remember who they lost to.
The Bills...
Did they lose to the Chiefs last year?
Yeah, they lost to the Chiefs last year.
But it wasn't
overtime.
I was going to say.
Oh.
Yeah, but you can't,
they didn't even make
tell
it
me
overtime.
that that's not...
Even worse.
Oh, my God. But no, you can't tell me, though, that those rules are bad.
Not that the rules are bad, but the fact that you
have
understand to complain about it in order to try to win is like...
I get it. Okay, I get that. But, like, Josh Allen didn't even see the field that game. When it mattered. Dude, but, like, he went down the field when it mattered, and his defense just ultimately...
And you know what?
The Chiefs had 13 seconds in that game.
Also went down the field when it mattered? Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and Butker.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And Kelsey again.
But again, there was a horrendous defensive play, and then ultimately, whoever got the ball first was going to win that game.
And honestly...
I don't think anybody's going to deny that.
Like,
I mean,
the
you
Bills...
might deny it because you're just... control, but...
What? If I'm being completely honest, I don't even think Josh Allen played really that great enough to win last game against the Ravens. Like, if the Ravens didn't shoot themselves in the foot with a Lamar
but again,
awful pick, a terrible fumble. I mean, Mark Andrews literally got donated $100,000 by Bills Mafia because they're so happy that he literally sucks. So it's like, I mean, I just can't believe it. Like, the Ravens literally costed themselves the game.
Yeah, but that's what happened. That's what happened with the Lions. The Lions, obviously their defense didn't play great, but like those 4 turnovers were ultimately the reason why they lost. And it's the same with the Rams. Like, in the end, that's ultimately why they lost.
But the Chiefs haven't turned the ball over like that, though.
And guess what? All the teams that haven't turned the ball over like that are in the divisional or in the NFC Championship.
And so that's why I'm coming down to it. I'm saying Chiefs money line. I'm saying under on the spread, or not the spread, under on the total. Yeah. I'm saying Chiefs cover the 1.5 spread.
It's down. I wrote it earlier today. It was -2. So that's the thing. Like,
all the same.
Anytime
you, 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take both of them.
It's all the same. Yeah. All right, actual score prediction.
Score prediction on the under 48.5. I'm saying 2017 Chiefs.
Wow, really? Like, really? Oh, yeah. So yeah, they're gonna cover. That's right. You said that.
They'll cover the 1-2 spread. I think that they win. I mean, it's gonna be cold, and I think that honestly, like, both defenses are probably gonna play pretty well.
Yeah,
and I think
the
that
Bills'
defense. I think it's going to be like one of those games where you see probably like 4 or 5 field goals total.
That's fair. I see that. I could definitely see that. But yeah, I think the Bills' defense I think especially the Bills' defense has really been hitting their stride lately. Obviously, the Chiefs' defense has been good all year, so there's no real like saying they're hitting their stride because they've been one of the best defenses all year. So it doesn't really matter when you talk about it in that sense. But like I said earlier, I think the Bills finally get over the hump. Maybe I'm just blinded by the media because everybody wants the Chiefs. Most people want the Chiefs to lose. But if I were to make a prediction on this game, I think Josh Allen finally plays well, plays really well, gets over that, outplays Mahomes, gets over the hump, plays like the MVP's been playing like all season. I think the Bills get it done. I'd say, knowing these two teams, I think honestly, I think the over could still hit because these teams they play very like high powered when they play each other, like both regular season and postseason. Like there's just back and forth scoring all the time. I think obviously the Bills.
Even that regular season game, it was like for a majority of the game, it's like 16-14, I think, until that fourth quarter where Bills scored 2 touchdowns. I mean,
that's the thing. Like that's the thing. That's what happened in that game that went to OT all those years back. It was, and then there was all those points.
That game that went to OT was like 42 to like 36.
Yeah, but dude, in the last like 2 minutes, there was like 21 or 28 points. It was fucking ridiculous. The amount of points that were scored in the last 2 minutes of that game. But if I had to make a score prediction on this, I think the over hits, and I think the final score would be, I say 27-24. I think the Bills win.
27-24.
Yeah. All right. So now what we're going to talk about, the award finalists were all revealed for the NFL. This happens, what is it? I think it's the Saturday before the Super Bowl.
Beats me.
Is it the night before?
No idea.
I don't remember when NFL Honors is. But we're going to go one by one. We're going to tell you our thoughts on this, and then we're going to tell you our winners that we think will end up winning this. A lot of these are very obvious, I think. But there are a couple that are up in the air. Especially like comeback player of the year. Comeback player of the year is a weird one this year. I don't think anybody knows.
I think there's a runaway for me, but
I know who you're thinking of, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Like
first, we're gonna
MVP is like, I don't even think it's close. Like there's only one person.
I don't disagree with you. Like I don't know ever if like. Do you ever think the voters get like blinded by the playoffs?
You can't.
Like, I know it's not a
votes
playoff.
are already in before the playoffs start, I think.
Really?
Like it ends like as soon as
I guess you're right.
ends,
I guess you're right because that's how they get the finalists.
Yeah, as soon as the regular season ends, they vote. So it's like you can't even be swayed by the fact that Lamar lost. Either way, I think the problem,
Lamar's leading in odds. I actually have no idea. I'm sure. Hold on. Here, you say what you were gonna say. I'm look it up.
Like I think the thing is with Lamar, I'm gonna say this, that last year he probably shouldn't have won it, and then people are upset even though this year he quite clearly deserves it. So I think that's the problem, is that it's kind of like with the NBA and like Jokic is like, he deserves it like almost a lot of the years, but they're gonna have fatigue voting for him eventually.
You're not gonna like this.
Why? Josh Allen's leading.
He's the favorite on every single platform. He's the favorite.
That's fine. Sometimes the favorite doesn't win.
Underdog mentality.
Yeah, New Era. It has always been the underdog every year.
New Era.
Yep. I mean, I'm still saying Lamar. I mean,
no. Last year though, there wasn't anybody that was. I feel like there really wasn't anybody that was deserving of the MVP last year. Like there really wasn't that many players, and then Lamar just got it by default because he was the quarterback on the best team in the league going into the playoffs. So I think that's what ended up happening last year. So he was still playing like playing like an MVP. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson. He's always going to be playing like an MVP level most of the time. But I think
the thing that separates him from this year or from most years past is that like this year he solidified himself as like, you know, not just like a running back. That's what I'm saying. He 4 interceptions and 41 touchdowns. Like
that's crazy. And
like for a guy like that,
rushing
he said like 900 yards rushing. I mean, he had 9 total turnovers, which honestly is not that bad for having 44 total touchdowns.
It's less than Josh Allen, I think.
Yeah,
turnovers, I think it's less.
I think so. Yeah.
Lamar literally beats him in every category except for rushing touchdowns.
And that's the thing. I mean, And I
But
mean,
who
even
cares?
in the regular
Because
season,
actually,
when they
well, he
saw
has
each
more
other,
total. He has more total touchdowns though. He
Yeah,
has more total touchdowns. And in the regular season, you're right.
when they
face
saw
off
each
head
other,
to head.
I mean,
The Ravens won by 25.
yeah,
So.
like it wasn't necessarily close.
Although the
But
Bills' defense was hurt, that the Bills' defense was flooded with injuries at that point, but I don't think it.
but I think the problem is that there will always be voter fatigue no matter the sport. It's like LeBron.
Yeah.
Like LeBron didn't win like a million MVPs
Yeah.
just because like eventually they don't want to keep voting for the same guy over and over again.
That's a
It
good
just
point. That's a good
makes
point.
it's not good
I
for the
don't know
sport,
if the I
unfortunately.
don't know if the league wants to give Lamar 3 MVPs before he wins one Super Bowl.
Exactly. So it's like, despite the fact that Lamar had such a great season, I mean,
No,
if they
I'm
don't give
still
it to
gonna
him,
put
they
out the
don't give
Lamar
it to him.
prediction.
I'll
I'm still
still
gonna
say
put out the
Lamar.
Lamar prediction. Yeah, I agree with you.
No matter what.
But if we're being honest, biased Saquon fan here, he should be the MVP.
They're like an MVP will just not be.
It'll never be a running
It'll
back
never
or
be.
wide receiver.
It'll never be
Never
any
again.
position that's not a QB. Really.
It's ridiculous. It's so stupid in my opinion. You literally like running backs. Literally. So here's the crazy part: is like when we talk about this, like I'm like kind of jokingly say it. Like obviously, I don't think he would ever win it. But even if he broke the record for rushing yards, I still don't think he would have won the MVP based off the final voting, which is ridiculous because that record has stood for so many years.
I mean, but see the problem when it comes down to like MVP, like most
Well, here's the
valuable
thing.
players.
You really think the Eagles would have been where they were without him?
Did you see the Eagles last year with Swift?
Yeah, you mean the team that ended up losing 5 of the last 6
It's a
games?
MVP is but
yeah, that was the fucking regular season.
wait,
you
what'd
dummy.
you guys end? What'd you guys end at? It could not have been.
They
that
started
bad.
10-1 and they finished 11-6. It was
like
horrible.
11-6 is like you say that like that's like the worst season ever.
But from where they were to where they ended up is the problem. And then they got killed in the wild card.
I mean,
I know,
that's just the
obviously,
Bucks.
players-
The Bucks, like
Okay. Whatever.
the Bucks and the Eagles, they have some like animosity there.
Yeah, you know what's funny though about that? Like every time AJ Brown has played in one of those games, the Bucks have,
He didn't
and the
even
Bucks
play.
have ever since the Bucks have owned the Eagles. Either AJ Brown hasn't played, and it's never been at the link. How is that even fair at all? Like
Yeah, but,
people,
like, ever
Eagles
since-
fans were scared about that if they were gonna win, and then they would have ended up playing us. I still don't. I still thought they would have beaten the Bucks because it would have been the first time. Actually, no, they wouldn't have. Never mind, they wouldn't have played them anyways.
That's because
the Bucks
AJ
would've went
Brown
to
didn't
Detroit.
want to play.
Oh wait, no. Bucks wouldn't have went to Detroit. They would have went to the Eagles.
Well,
Yeah.
either way,
All right.
this
Yeah.
is Saquon's
MVP.
Saquon's
MVP is
Lamar
for sure.
Jackson in my eyes.
This has to be
Offensive
Saquon.
po-
If this isn't
yeah, oh
Saquon,
boy.
it's ridiculous because if Jamar Chase. So here's the problem I have with this: is Jamar Chase put up a bunch of stats on a team that had almost a triple crown quarterback. That's the thing. Like they were strictly a passing. Now, obviously, the Eagles were a predominantly running team. However, the Eagles at the end of the day are a balanced offense because you still have AJ Brown who had over 1,000 yards, and you still had Devontae Smith who almost had 900. So that's why I think getting 2,000 yards with all those other weapons makes this so much crazier. Yeah, the Bengals do have T. Higgins, but however, they don't have a run game, and a lot of the times when they were losing,
Chase Brown.
yeah, but they're not. It's not like
Chase
an
Brown
efficient.
was-
It's not like a. But he got a lot of receiving touchdowns though. He's a great receiving back, which ultimately ended up making Joe Burrow so good this year was because of how much they ended up passing.
I mean,
telling
see,
you.
the thing is, what? First off, what even is a quarterback triple crown? Like he led in receiving yard or passing yards and
I think it's
passing
passing
touchdowns.
yards, touchdowns, and completion percentage. I think that's the 3.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's completion percentage.
Yeah, but
I could be
like,
wrong though.
completion percentage is like one of those like per.
It's gotta be a
many
minimum.
attempts.
Yeah, it would be like a minimum 100 attempts, which he would obviously be at the top. Like I think he'd be at the top. I'm not
Is
100%.
that no Baker?
No, didn't Lamar lead? I think Lamar led
Baker
in
was
passing
the
touchdowns.
bet, or no? Actually, I lied. That was the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, it probably was.
But either way,
I think those are the
like-
3. I could be wrong though.
the thing is,
I
like
don't- it's not
Saquon, I think
interceptions.
deserves it, but I
You
feel like it's
have
one
to
of
give it
those
to
like
him.
It's like one of
You
those,
have
like,
to
it's
get the
not
Crown.
crazy to, like, give it to a Triple Crown receiver, though. Like, it's not the, like...
But it's like, here's the thing. If it comes down to it, and I know I hate to bring this up, but if it does come down to it, you have a guy who ran for 2,000 yards, which doesn't happen often, and you had a Triple Crown that doesn't happen often. Who was more valuable to their team at that point? Because the Eagles were a predominant run first team, and now they're in the NFC Championship. The Bengals were a predominant pass first team. They didn't even make the playoffs. Now, obviously, the Bengals defense wasn't great, but at the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to. Because if a 2,000 yards and Triple Crown, they're virtually the same when it comes to the amount of people that have done it. It's both under 10. Saquon was only the 9th person to ever do it, and then Jamar Chase, I forget what it was. It was like 5 or 6, but it's like they're about the same at that point. It's not that many. So, like I said, who did more for their team at the end of the day? And I think Saquon did more for his team, because obviously with how good he was, they were able to make the NFC Championship.
Well, I think when it comes down to it, if Saquon loses the Offensive Player of the Year, the only person that they have to blame is, was it the GM that sat him out of that last game, or was it Sirianni?
That's a good point. No, it was Sirianni. No, it's a collective, I think.
Was it?
Front
Either
office,
way, okay,
yeah,
then the
like
Eagles front
if
office.
They lose, yeah,
if
that's the
Saquon
problem.
loses that, it is literally 100% their fault, bro.
Because of that. Agreed. I 100% agree. And you know what sucks?
They didn't let him get that record.
You know what ends up sucking with that is, if imagine, this is all hypothetical because I still think the Eagles are going to win. Imagine the Eagles lose the NFC Championship. So you made the playoffs. You don't have an NFC Championship or Super Bowl, and you don't have a rushing record for your thing, and you don't have Offensive Player of the Year because of all the shit that happened when they sat him out. That's crazy to think about.
I think Saquon definitely deserves it, but if Jamar Chase wins it,
he has to win it.
That front office better get down on their hands and knees and apologize to him every day the rest of his career.
Odds wise, let me pull these up. Okay, so it looks like Saquon is pretty much the far and away. He's minus 1,000 plus on every single website. So he's very obviously going to win it.
You said minus 1,000 plus.
But I meant its minimum is minus 1,000 on every website.
Oh, okay.
There's some BetMGM has him as minus 10,000. I think that's what that said.
Okay,
I know,
so
it's crazy.
It's not close. Bad year to have a Triple Crown, I guess.
Breaking news: the Cowboys have made their decision on head coach.
Really? I saw they signed some 51-year-old to
Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, Brian.
Who is that?
What?
Where was he from? He was an offensive coordinator somewhere. Who is this?
Brian Schottenheimer?
I don't know who this is.
I mean, Brian Schottenheimer, you don't know him?
Do you?
Not really. All I remember is that I think he was on the Seahawks at one point. Yeah, he's been bouncing back and forth to a few different teams, but
interesting.
I mean, the Cowboys still suck.
I don't even know where he's from. They didn't report it
because he hasn't been on a team since COVID. I don't think.
Seriously?
They're taking a chance.
What the hell? The Cowboys, dude, Jerry Jones needs to fucking step down, bro. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. If that's true what you're saying, that's
Why do you want him to step down?
Because he's ruining that franchise at this point.
Good.
He is. He's ruining the franchise.
That's good. That's not America's team no more.
It never is. It never was.
What? Oh.
It never was.
Either way, Saquon, Opoy.
OPOY. Cowboys fans, let us know what you think about that hire, because we have no clue who that is, to be honest with you. I'm sure everyone's going to be mad. He's not even, I don't even think he's that old.
He's 50.
Dude, head coaching terms, that's not that old.
Yeah, but look at
yeah, McVay's the youngest at 37 or something like that.
That's not Mike?
Huh? It's one of the two.
Daniel?
They're both they're close.
Oh. Either way, Depoy, Pat Surtain. Okay, next question.
Whoa. Let's not disregard everyone here. All these guys
okay.
here, except I think the only one that really shouldn't, I think, was
How
only
does a
here because
Bengals
of his.
defensive player make it if they were on the worst?
He led
defense in
the
the league?
he led the league in sacks. He had 17 and a half sacks. Also, FAU Owl Trey Hendricks, Owls up.
Wow.
This dude's a dog. Bet you didn't know that.
No, nobody knows FAU football players. So
Hey,
sorry.
just kidding. I don't disagree with you. The only relevancy we had was when Kiffin was here.
I mean, Surtain, though,
yeah.
it's like,
I don't disagree with you on that.
come on.
But as an Eagles fan, I'm not saying that he's gonna win, but I'm saying he has
Bond
to be
was definitely a good pickup, though, 100%.
dude.
But I think it's
Good
just
pickup. He
based
signed
off.
a 1 year he signed like a 1 year deal for like, what was it, like, I don't even know. It was like less than 10 mil or something like that. And he posts like 150. He posts like 150 tackles, like a bunch of tackles for loss. He had like 4 sacks. He had like an interception, a bunch of he had like fumble recoveries. Dude, he is easily one of the best, and that's why he's on this list. He's easily he's been the best linebacker in the league this year. Like, he has. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like, obviously, TJ Watt's great, but I don't even know do people think of him as a linebacker? I feel like everyone thinks of him as a defensive end.
I mean, yeah, because they only blitzes.
I was gonna say. I mean, he drops back in coverage sometimes, but
But it's
not that
Surtain
often.
Island, though.
I don't disagree with you. I think
don't know.
Surtain's gonna run away with it. I don't know what the odds are. I'll look up the odds.
Like, I think
on
the
these
only
ones,
reason
too.
that Zach Bond wouldn't win is just because of his name. That's literally it.
That's the thing. People were talking about that. And people were like, if that was Roquan Smith or Bobby Wagner, he would win it 100%.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I think that's an issue in the NFL. It's stuff like that. Like why that's a thing, I don't know. That's why TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, that's why they're here all the time. Like, obviously they're great players, but like, I mean, I couldn't really think of anything off the top of my head. Like, wow, that's crazy. On FanDuel, Zach Bond is plus 5,000.
Yeah.
That's
like, if his name
ridiculous
wasn't Zach Bond, he would be up there. But
Agreed,
it's like
100%. Like, he's had a better season than Myles Garrett. He's had a better season than Trey Hendrickson. He's had a better season than TJ Watt. The only guy that's debatable
better
that he hasn't
season
had
than
a better
Trey
season.
Hendrickson is like, in terms of what they're supposed to do.
Stop shitting on him, bro. He led the league in sacks.
I'm not-
He's the only.
No, I'm saying Trey Hendrickson, like, in terms of what his position was as a defensive end, I mean, he basically did it perfection.
Okay. But yeah, well, I guess that's fair. But Bond has had a better season overall than everyone.
I don't even know how Watt's up here personally. I feel like that's just
again though, like, who
a
else are you
fan
gonna put on
favorite
there?
pick.
Like
Anybody.
Watt and Garrett.
You know what?
Ooh.
You know what I will say this year? Like,
I think
that,
Garrett's the least deserving on here.
Nick
I mean, you
Bonito
can't-
from
That's-
Denver. Like, bro went
Yeah,
so
I
under
agree
the
with you on
radar
that.
this
He
year.
he was really good this year.
And especially
He
as
had, like,
somebody who's like, he's like a second or third year player. He was like third in sacks. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
and
he
he's a
had
linebacker too. That's the
Yeah.
thing. That's what's even crazier about that is
like,
I
he
don't
went
know.
under
I don't
the
know what
radar.
his stats were, but yeah, he was really good this year from what I remember. That's a Oklahoma boy right there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Who you? But yeah, probably Pat Surtain's gonna win it. But if I think I'm gonna be biased, but I really think Zach Bond should win it just because he's easily been the best linebacker in the league this year, and I think he has been he's been better on the Eagles than it's hard to phrase it because obviously Pat Surtain is obviously the best player on the Broncos, but like, I don't know. From what Zach Bond did this year, I think it was better than what Pat Surtain has done this year.
Oh,
But I do
Zach
think Pat
Bond, I
Surtain's
say
gonna win.
Surtain.
Well, no, I still think Surtain's gonna win though. But I think Bond should win.
I mean, this is like
All
the
right.
next coming of like Revis Island.
No, that's Quinyon Mitchell. right,
Okay,
go on to the next one. Go on to the next one.
Okay.
Offensive rookie of the year. I mean, there's
Jaden
nothing
Daniels.
to talk about. Jaden Daniels.
Brock
but,
Bowers had the worst
Yeah,
time
the
to be
reception-
drafted.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Raiders.
just unlucky timing.
Yeah, that's it. Raiders. And
Like,
then
if
you're
he was
going up
1 year
against two-
later,
like,
would've been
that's,
perfect.
dude, honestly, like, every single person on here, I think, would win Rookie of the Year in, like, any other season. Truly.
Yeah.
Like, Neighbors had a crazy year.
I mean, Neighbors
Bowers had a crazy
and
year.
BTJ,
Knicks had
though.
a crazy year, and Brian Thomas had a crazy year. All these guys, everyone on this list had a crazy year, but just because Jaden Daniels is Jaden Daniels, it's like he's just that much better than
I mean,
everyone
Jaden
else.
Daniels just turned that team from a last in their division to NFC Championship.
Exactly.
I mean, and with a bunch of guys that they literally
Well,
just
don't even say
pulled
NFC Championship. Just say playoff team. That's enough.
Yeah,
Like,
but
the
like, with a
Broncos
bunch of
were
guys that they
decent
pulled
last
out
year.
of nowhere, they signed
That's
like
true.
so many just random veterans. I mean, Ertz,
And it works.
Wagner, Eckler.
Well, Ertz was already
You know.
there last year.
Was
Ertz
he?
already there last year. Yeah, he was. I'm almost positive.
Either way. No, I thought he was in Arizona.
Was that last year?
Yeah,
I don't remember. It doesn't really matter.
I don't mean Ertz.
That doesn't really matter. He's good either way. I mean, whether he's there
Yeah,
last year
Ertz
or
has
not,
he still
getting away.
bleeds green at the end of the day. So like I think Ertz,
I don't know if he does.
Ertz
He
will
had
throw
a,
the game. He'll probably drop one catch just for the Eagles. But
all right. Yeah, it's Jaden Daniels. It's Jaden Daniels' award at this point. There's nothing that could change it. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
there's nothing that can change it because we're in the postseason. But yeah, we'll just go on to the next one at this point.
then you got
Defensive
wow.
Rookie of the Year. This is actually a conversation. I don't think it'll end up being any different. I think it's going to be Jared Verse at the end of the day because he's
Yeah.
a great player and he played his ass off against the Eagles last week. He backed his shit talk. I'm not gonna lie, he backed it up. He had 2 sacks. I think he just played a great game all around. I'm pretty sure. There is one guy that should not be on here, and that's Cooper DeJean.
Wow.
As an Eagle fan, I think Mike Sanders still on the Commanders deserves it more. There was better like just that alone. Sanders still was better than Cooper DeJean was this year as a rookie, I think. And I'm not trying I'm just trying to look at this as an open mind. Like I love Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean has been amazing for us this year. I mean, he did bring our defense, at least our secondary, to like another level when he moved into the nickel instead of I think it was Isaiah Rodgers or Avonte Maddox or something like that. He made us the best. He ended up putting us over the edge to make us the best secondary in the league. However, Sanders still he had 2 again, we're not going to, obviously this is a regular season award, but he had more picks than DeJean. He had more tackles. I'm pretty sure he had a better he's had a better overall season, I think. And I don't think that's crazy to say. He should be on here. However, I don't think he should win, but I think he should be on.
My thing is, I can't believe that Tarheeb Steele didn't even make the final.
Based off the post and stuff you sent me, like he's actually a beast.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the fact that you sent that this year the Chargers sent out basically
He's
2.
on the
We sent out
Chargers,
2
bro.
rookie. We sent out 2 rookie cornerbacks, and the fact that we gave up the least amount of points in the league, and neither of them even made it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I
mean, at the end of the day, it's like there was. I mean,
it was going to be Jared Verse no matter what. It was going to
Yeah.
be Jared Verse no matter what. But although I think Jared Verse is going to win this award, but I think the best defender on this list is Quinyon Mitchell. I think Quinyon Mitchell has the potential to be. He's going to end up being the number 1 corner for the Eagles for a while.
Yeah, thank you, Darius
That's what it's
Slay.
gonna be like. No, I said. Well, that's why I said for a while. Like obviously Darius Slay is right now.
No,
Oh, you're saying thank you? Like he taught. Like
Yeah, like he
him.
taught him everything he knew.
That's fair. That's fair. And
one thing I will say-
I'll eat my words. I said Darius Slay
Yep.
wasn't playing well earlier this
Yep.
year, and he is absolutely
Yep.
he has proven me wrong. And salute to him, bro. He has been a beast. He had a great game against the Rams last week. He had a fantastic game. Maybe he wasn't playing that well throughout the season because those games didn't matter. That's why he's big play Slay, right? He only plays good when it matters.
Yeah, exactly. Big games, big players, big play.
Yeah, he had that pick against the Packers too. All right, but that's besides the point. But yeah, back to this. But I agree with you especially on the Chargers thing. You're right. You can't. How do you send out two rookie corners on one of the best defenses?
And just neither of them nobody knows them. It is what it is, though. Exactly. I mean, Jared Verse, congratulations, whatever.
Yeah. Also, but before you click off of this, Chop Robinson, fantastic player, should definitely been mentioned. Same with Braden Fiske, or Fiske, however you say his name. He played amazing against the Eagles. Unfortunately, got hurt, which I think ended up really affected them in the run game against the Eagles. But Fiske, and Chop Robinson definitely should be mentioned here because those dudes are going to be great players for years to come. 100%.
Yeah. All right, Chop. Nobody will know him though, unfortunately, because he's on the Dolphins. The Dolphins won't be good for.
Well, apparently somebody knows him because he's on this list.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Well, Jared Verse,
congrats. Yep, congrats. And then comeback player of the year. This is the only one that I think is like
person.
Who?
Dobbins.
No.
Like the thing with Dobbins is like.
How can you be comeback player of the year when you get hurt in the same year?
No, see that's the thing that people are too focused on, like the fact that he got hurt again, not the fact that he's been great,
but he did not have the best season. He did not have the best season with compared to these guys.
Like he was saying that all of his teammates gave up on him in Baltimore. They didn't believe in him anymore, and that he came to LA on basically like this is another one like I'll talk about Darnold later, but this is another player that this was his do or die season. Like if he had another season where he just got completely hurt and didn't play again, he probably wouldn't be on a team after this. And the fact that he came out, showed out in those first several weeks of the season where he showed that he can be a top running back still. Despite the fact that the Chargers offense was pretty trash throughout most of the season.
I hate to burst your bubble as you're going on your rant, but Dobbins is probably not going to win it at all. Like
he won't. But that doesn't mean that
odds-wise he's not even
should
close.
Win. But
based off the odds, Joe Burrow's leading right now, and I think the only reason why they're going to give it to Joe Burrow is because he's had a great season. Bad. Exactly, he's had a great season, and he's not going to win.
This is a pat on the back award.
It really is this season. One other thing. Why is DeMar Hamlin here? What are the qualifications for this award? Yeah, he had that. Don't get me wrong, horrific injury. He almost died on the field. That was 2 years ago.
He's still coming back out.
That was 2 years ago.
No, because the thing people forget is like, was it last?
He played fine last year.
Last year he played like 4 games, I think.
Okay, but like he was on there last year. Why? I don't think you can be on comeback player of the award twice.
I mean, he keeps coming back every season.
Okay, so does everyone else.
Like, he's still alive. He still comes back every year. That's the whole point.
They need to make the qualifications better for this award because it's very random how I
mean, the fact that Sam Darnold isn't the runaway comeback player of the year,
I don't disagree.
It's literally beyond me, bro.
I don't disagree with it. He's minus
he jumped from
105.
team to team. They had the Vikings being like one of the worst teams in the NFC this year. They had them being the worst team in their division. And Sam Darnold, I saw like, what was it? Was it Skip Bayless or Colin Cowherd that was comparing him to Josh Allen, bro?
Okay. But that's like, Skip fucking Bayless.
I forget which one it was. I mean, but still, Sam Darnold was in like a, like, he could have been a top 5 QB this year. Maybe, top 10 definitely, arguably in terms of stats in the top 5.
Dude, okay. Okay, before you start getting too ahead of yourself, we are not calling Sam Darnold a top. We are not.
Dude,
he did not play
Sam
like.
Darnold
he did not play like a top.
He was like,
dude,
bro, he was
when he had to play in
yards.
games when it dude, when he had to play in games when it mattered, like the end of the season when he had to play in games, he did not play well in games that he absolutely had to win. That he's not a top 5 quarterback.
I mean,
I'll give you
fifth in
top
passing
10.
yards, fifth in touchdowns.
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
The thing is,
Okay.
I mean, your last game of your season is against your division rival. That's the Lions, that were like the best team in the league.
And guess what?
On
He
paper.
played horrible.
I mean,
That same Lions team that got freaking destroyed against the Commanders because they were full of injuries. You can't put
I'm
up
just
9
saying.
points against a team that has given up so many points like that and forever.
like that's just
And
a
then
bad
again,
division game.
like,
And- but that was in Detroit too, so it's like, those games
Just
happen.
stop.
Everybody's
Just
had a
stop.
game where they've lost to a division and put rival.
Yeah, but it seems to happen in every big game for him.
I mean, he won, 14 games.
Okay, but also the Vikings defense has been really good this year too.
They
Again,
had
I'm not
a top
taking
10
anything.
offense in
I'm not
terms
taking
of points
anything away
scored.
from Darnold, but like we're not calling him a top 5 quarterback. Come on, you're not calling him a top 5 quarterback. Stop.
I don't know.
So who would you rather have, Herbert or Darnold?
I mean, because Herbert's
Yeah,
he's like fourth.
No,
Herbert's fourth
stop.
on my list.
Stop.
Like I got Lamar, Mahomes, Josh, Herbert, and then
Joe
fill in the
Burrow.
blank. Fill in the blank.
Joe Burrow.
I'll never be a Joe Burrow fan. Ever.
All right, we're done with this conversation. It's either gonna be Joe Burrow or Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I think Sam
I'll just
Darnold
say Joe
deserves
Burrow.
it.
I'll just say Joe Burrow.
I'm gonna say Darnold, even though Joe Burrow probably will win it because of pat on the back. I think Darnold, the fact that he took a team from literally being like almost out of the league, or he's gonna be out of the league, to coming in and
I don't disagree with you. I'm not gonna take anything away from him of that, but
like Darnold should thank JJ McCarthy.
all right.
Well,
Last award,
coach.
Coach of the Year.
I mean, Dan
This one
Quinn
is-
or nobody else.
It's got to be. I was gonna say it's got to be Dan Quinn.
Like,
It's one of the
unfortunately,
names.
Harbaugh's not out there,
It's one of the names.
which doesn't make sense to me. But
It's either Campbell
I'll
or
give
Quinn.
it to
But I would
Quinn
give it to
easily.
Quinn because this team was in the fucking dumpster fire last year.
Like,
He
wasn't-
just comes in
was
and
Quinn
makes the
on
NFC
the-
championship?
Was he the?
He was on the Cowboys. He was
Cowboys
the
defensive coordinator.
He was the defensive
Yeah,
coordinator.
yeah. So I mean, Quinn.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little.
They went
confused
from like
when they
one of the
hired
worst
him.
teams to one of the best teams.
Again, literally from a bottom 3 team to a top 4 team at this point. I mean, you kind of have to say that because who's in the champ games. But yeah, I think it's pretty obviously Dan Quinn. I fully agree with you with Harbaugh. I don't know why Harbaugh's not
Yeah,
here.
Harbaugh. We went from a
How
5 and
here's the
12
thing.
team.
Sean Payton last year had the Broncos at I think it was 8-9.
They finished over us. I'm pretty sure.
Something like that.
I'm pretty sure
was,
we were last in the division, unless the Raiders were
Yeah,
last.
you guys did not win many games last year.
Yeah, we were.
But that's the
5.
thing. That's what I'm saying. Like Sean Payton being on here over Harbaugh is ridiculous in my opinion. That's absolutely blasphemy.
Then it's like Andy Reid. Even
Like
though
Kevin
he's
Kevin O'Connell makes sense because they won 14 games after only winning like 7 last year. Campbell
Yeah.
makes sense because it was one of the best teams in the league. Or like take off Andy Reid. We know Andy Reid's a good coach. Why is he on here? Like why is he on here? Like I don't
Andy
know if
Reid-
it's like a thing. I don't know if it's like a thing you have to both 1 seed coaches have to be on this list.
I mean,
but,
technically, he had the best team in the league.
Yeah, but they were good last year.
Exactly. So just it'll
don't
be
know.
one of those
It's
things
gotta-
where it's like
I-
he won't get the votes because his team is just too good every year.
I guess you're right. But okay. But yeah, Dan Quinn's gonna win it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That
I agree.
now. So we're what? We're an hour and 8 minutes in now. 9 minutes in. Normally our episodes go an hour and 30. Do we cut it short or do we dive into NBA? Because I know you've been itching to hit the NBA.
It's itching. Yeah.
You have been itching. I see your posters back there. Kawhi Leonard and got the NBA logo up there too.
Yeah. Quiet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Clippers underneath that. Clippers guy.
Yep, shout out the Clippers. We're like what 6th seed? Not bad.
I have no idea, dude. I really haven't been following too much. I just kind of know like the basis, the things like who's still like the very top of the top of the league, and then I saw the All-Stars, too.
Like, this just in, the Sixers beat the Cavs.
That's pretty wild.
Paul George 30.
Best team record-wise, I think. They go down.
Yep. Actually,
Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk NBA for a little bit?
I mean, you have these segments sitting right here in my face. Like, you're just dangling it in front of my... You're like...
That's a good point. So we could start with best teams. I don't know if you want to bring up... Actually, you might have to bring up standings because I literally have no idea.
I mean, bro, best teams is just Thunder Cavs right now. It's like not even close.
Well, bring up the standings. Can you bring up the standings? We'll just put that up. We'll just put that up there for now. So yeah, I know the Thunder are good. I know the Cavs are good. Obviously,
like
the Celtics just got... I know the Celtics got waxed late recently, but they're so good.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no denying the Celtics are so good.
See this.
And then I know the big topic right now was the All-Star starters that got announced. So yeah, the Knicks are up there. I forgot about that. Oh shit, okay, there you go.
Yeah, sorry.
I got full screen this now. All right, so I was gonna say. Cavs, I knew the Cavs were the 1 seed. I knew the Thunder were the 1 seed. Whoa, I did not know the Rockets were the 2.
The Rockets, a good young team.
I didn't know that.
Like, you got Sengun. I mean, Amen Thompson, I think, is the brother on the...
Is it Yeah, it's not...
Amen Thompson?
Yeah, Asar's on the...
Asar's on the Pistons. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, a young team with Green.
Speaking of the Pistons, the 6th seed?
The East stinks crazy every year.
I guess that's fair, but like, dude, it's the Pistons. This was the worst team in basketball history last year, pretty much, like close to it.
No, the Wizards. Every year.
Were they even? They only have 6 wins. I did not know that.
Yeah, because they want Cooper Flag. They want Sar. They want Flag. They want every single first pick in the draft. Either way, the Cavs. Even though they've lost to the Thunder twice now, I want to say they've lost to the Thunder twice.
Didn't they just beat them recently? I think didn't the Cavs just beat them recently?
No, they lost by 20 last time they saw them, and then I'm pretty sure the
Cavs won recently.
No, that's one team that they struggle with. The Cavs, even though despite the fact that, I mean, it's not even really debatable that they have literally the best roster in like basketball right now.
Who's that?
The Cavs.
Really?
I mean, when you go top to bottom, yeah. I mean, Garland, Mitchell.
I guess it's true. Garland's playing like an all-star this year.
Sometimes you have LeVert. Or sometimes they have, Strus. Strus is normally their starter.
And then they have the center duo with
Mobley, Allen. I mean, Twin Towers. The fact that Mobley, I think Mobley probably will end up being the most improved player this year, but
yeah,
I mean, the fact that their team is just so well put together, and I think this game against the Sixers, Ty Jerome came off the bench and gave him 30 points. I mean, like, it's just going to be one of those teams that are deep and they're hungry.
But will they do well in the playoffs?
Yes.
You think so?
I think
because you never know with the Cavs.
See, the thing is with the East is that
the East is really bad this year.
It's so weak. It's
really bad this year. Yeah, I could see that.
I think there's really only a couple of teams you got to beat, and it's going to be obviously the Celtics, is because
when the 6th seed is 23-21, or actually you can go higher than that. The 5 seed's only 4 games above 500. I feel like that's not great.
Yeah, I think that the Cavs can make a good run. Obviously they'll avoid. They're gonna probably end up the 1 seed, or worse if they really have a bad run. The 2
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for them to lose the 1 seed at this point.
So it's like they'll avoid the Celtics until the conference finals. So
and the Knicks too. That too. The only team that they would have to worry about is the Bucks, but the Bucks have been up and down.
The Bucks
this year
are still trying to figure it out with that Giannis Dame combo.
Yeah.
And Middleton's been
I know Dame had a good game recently. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, last night he had a triple-double with like 30 points.
I was gonna say I kind of remember that.
But
yeah, so and then the West.
Yeah, in the West, you got
the Nuggets are the 4. I thought they were worse than that this year.
Worse.
Yeah, I thought I remember. Wasn't the beginning of the year? Well, I know that, but
At the beginning of the year, they
like
did start off pretty. Everybody's been starting
that's
off
what
bad. The West has been like flipped upside down this year. Like this year, the Timberwolves, they're 8 seed right now, but for the majority of the year, they've been like 10th seed, 11th seed. Like they've been like in and out. I mean,
nah.
then the Nuggets,
You
they
know,
were
for
kind of lower.
as you know, for as often as I see the Lakers lose, I don't know. How, it's kind of crazy that they're the 5
I mean,
seed.
the
I feel
Lakers
like
are like the most mid team every year. Like they've been like
but,
sticking around that like middle, like 5, 6,
Yeah.
7 seed, and they've just been sticking with it.
Well, it's 5, 6, 7. You even go like 7, 8. I would say even like 7, 8, 9 at this point.
Yeah.
I
think
really
the play-in has definitely ruined regular season basketball because most of these teams really don't even care to make the first few seeds.
Has Kawhi played this year? How many times has he played this year?
He's played in 4 games. 4 games because he's been he was recovering most of the year. Then recently, last week or so, he's been playing I think he's on 24-minute restrictions. I mean, he's still doing pretty good though. He had like 20 points the other day. I mean, Kawhi will be, if he can stay healthy, he will be the reason that we make a deep playoff run.
That's fair. I know Harden's been stepping up pretty well.
Harden, I will say, is like the most he's like the most the worst efficiency scorer I have ever seen in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah. I
see him
positive.
be putting up. I don't know if they're just like fake triple doubles, but I know.
No, he puts up triple doubles, but he
you
also
said just his
leads the
scoring's
league.
not-
He also leads the league in turnovers. Plus, I think he's shooting 39% from the field. I mean, he's averaging 20 points off of 39% shooting. I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like Trae Young too. That's another one that I think is very overrated. Is Trae Young?
Yeah.
Trae Young's efficiency is not great.
But one thing I will say is the Grizzlies have been the most impressive team this year, solely off the fact that almost like a majority of their games they're missing like half their team. I think they have to be one of the only teams I've seen that they have normally like 6 or 7 people out, and they never have a consistent starting lineup, and they still somehow have figured out how to win games this year. And I mean,
Shout out Taylor Jenkins.
They got 2 rookies in there that are in the race for Rookie of the Year, and Edie and Wells.
Yeah, dude.
And they've still been winning games.
Shout out Zach Edey. My dad, everyone on social media, everybody. We watch college basketball. I watch college basketball a lot more than the NBA for sure. Everybody thought that Edey was just going to be a bum in the league because all he did was get position in the paint and then just go up and score. But that's all he had to do. And that's the thing. I think what I failed to see and what a lot of people failed to see is that's what he was good at in college because that's what was best. He was so much stronger and so much taller than everybody else in college. They didn't have to do anything else. He just had to rebound the ball and he had to just put up layups. Now that he has to do more, he's able to do that and he's able to show his versatility. Because now, isn't he hitting threes now? Like he's like not
necessarily, but
he does have more. Obviously, he has more of a 3-point shot than he did in college. I know that.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Edey is that on the Grizzlies, they have like a weird rotation that they constantly rotate people out. He only plays like maybe 20 minutes a game.
No, I saw recently he's less than that. I think he's like all the way down to like 16 or something.
I mean, because fully healthy, they like to play like they're not one of those teams that normally play like an 8-man rotation or something like that. They play like
10.
They play like a deep. They play like a deep bench. And that's because they just have consistent guys. That's the problem.
I've noticed that, and like in the past, that does not hold up in the playoffs necessarily. I feel like a lot of times, because I feel like in the playoffs, a lot of times it's star power over everything in the NBA.
Well, I think with the Grizzlies right now is that with the injuries, it's easier to find out what you have out of your role players, and
clearly they found something in being the 3 seed. That's crazy.
I mean, they're figuring out, who works with who, and
that's crazy to me. The Warriors are an 11 seed at 500. That's insane.
I mean, Curry's on his way out.
No, I'm saying it's wild. They're 22 and 22, and they're on the 11 seed. And you look up at the 11 seed in the East, it's the Sixers. They're
The West is
well,
tough.
maybe now it'd be what? They'd be 10 games below 500 now because of the win. But like, still, that's ridiculous. If you even go down to the 12 seed, 20 and 22 as a 12 seed is crazy. Shout out Wemby. That's dude. That dude's in year 2, and he's this scary. Woo.
Yep, and he'll be out of the playoffs every single year until he gets off the Spurs.
They'll get oh okay. Once they'll start building, and they'll get it done. I think once is Popovich still their coach? I don't remember.
I think he's sick right now.
Is he sick? He might be sick. I don't know.
Probably sick of being in the NBA. Maybe. I don't know.
But he's not though. He comes back every year.
Yeah, he should.
He has every opportunity.
Like, I don't know how he keeps coming back. But
yeah. All right. So that's pretty much the standings right now. Pretty much the West is more dominant than the East, as they normally are. I
mean, All-Stars pool just dropped. The starter pool just dropped.
Oh, the starter pool. Well, remember, it's not well, I guess you call it a pool, but remember, it's just East versus West now.
No, it's this year. This year they have a whole new format. It's four.
Oh, Jesus
it's
Christ.
4 different teams of 8. 4 different teams of 8. 3 of them are NBA players, and the last one is the Rising Stars team that wins. It's weird. It's really
They don't
weird.
know what the hell they're doing.
It's really
with
weird.
Weekend, bro.
But despite the fact All-Stars starter pool starting off on the West side, the fact that Curry even made it is literally just fans. Like, Curry has probably the best fan base in the world, I guess, or something, because there's just no way that he even deserves to be in there.
No. The best fan base is LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron. But LeBron deserves it. In the fact that he's in year 20 and he's 40 and he's still putting up triple doubles and he's still averaging. No, he is still. He's definitely he almost still starter.
I
think he averages a double almost. He's like 23 and like 9 on assists. Like, I think he's almost leading the league in assists in year 20, and the fact that he's got to be the most versatile player to ever play. I mean, starting off as a guy that was scoring at will in the paint, and then the fact that now he has a 3-point game and now he's a facilitator, it's like, that is just insane.
Now that he's a facilitator, he's been a facilitator for a while.
He was not 4th in assists like most of his career.
Do we not remember his later? I'm talking about his later years in Cleveland, dude. And that's
I'm talking about recently. Right now. I'm talking about now.
Yeah, but you got to think about his later years in Cleveland. He was still a facilitator. But his younger years
in Cleveland and in Miami, he was not known as a facilitator.
Obviously, in his later half, he's going to be more of an assist because he can't. He's
like in his first 10 seasons.
I mean, obviously, he's still athletic. He's LeBron James. He's always going to be athletic, but he's not flying to the rim like he normally would in his prime.
Yeah.
Actually, what is LeBron James's prime? I don't think he's been in his prime his whole. He's been in his prime his whole career. Yeah.
Lakers,
Cleveland over
Lakers, LeBron.
Oh, Cleveland over Miami.
I mean, the 3-1 comeback is like that's gonna be prime LeBron forever.
I still stand on this. That
2018 LeBron, 2018
LeBron is the greatest player I've ever seen on a basketball court.
Like, he led in every category.
That's crazy.
That's prime LeBron.
It might be, dude. He was dropping like 50 point triple doubles in the playoffs. That was fucking nuts.
And then
he should have won MVP that year.
Yeah, he should have won MVP a lot of years, but that's the problem with voting, is that they will never vote for him. You'll only be able to win maybe 3, 4. You'll never be able to win.
Kareem had 6.
But back then, I mean,
playing plumbers.
Next up in the West, you got Kevin Durant, which is honestly surprising. Because it's like,
has he been ass or not as Kevin Durant status?
KD's definitely good. I'm not saying that, but it's just the fact that he's another one he's even getting old, and the fact that he's still dominating as an offensive player to this point is kind of ridiculous. Like
little.
I think he's averaging like 27.
He's
like,
little. That stupid
like
ass.
he's a top 10 scorer, and he's shooting 52% from the field, bro. And the fact that he's 36 is like,
Oh my god.
like Kevin Durant is just, he's a beast.
But that one again. I mean, you kind of think about it.
The Suns suck, but he's
a great
good.
shooter. Because he's such a great shooter. I mean, in old age, that really doesn't like go away necessarily.
But yeah, but in his younger days, like Kevin or like Thunder Durant, and like even Warriors Durant, he was a really good rim runner kind of guy.
Yeah,
like
and now that he's old, he's just relying on shooting.
Yeah, he still can shoot, and he loves that mid range. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, greatest probably. Well,
I mean, he's probably is the greatest scorer.
I've never seen Sean Livingston miss a mid-range.
Yeah, maybe because you watched one Sean Livingston game in your whole life, bro.
What are you bro? I used to watch so much more NBA than I do now. Yes.
You watched it, but you're not like, oh my god, Sean Livingston.
Never seen him miss a mid-range. What you talking about?
Either way. Next,
have you?
I can't tell you last time I watched Sean Livingston. So.
Because he hadn't been in the league in a while.
Yeah. Like
last time was when he was on the Warriors teams.
Mm-mm.
One of the most gruesome injuries in NBA history.
Yeah.
On the Clippers.
Unfortunate. Everybody does that.
All right, but so it's LeBron, Curry,
Durant, Jokic, which is just like, I mean,
obviously, dude, he put up the first 30, 20, 15 games, or is it 35?
I don't know. I think he did have 35.
I think he had 35. I think it was 30. I think it was 35, 22, and 17. First time someone's done that since Wilt. And who even knows if Wilt ever did those?
And in that game, he hit like a 60-foot full quarter.
That's all he did. He hit the.
And I mean, Jokic
just throw it up.
I mean, you can't. There's nothing much to even say about him. He just does that. I mean, he's leading the league. Yeah. He's almost leading the league in like every category. I mean, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, he's averaging triple double.
Yes.
Close to it.
Now he is. After that last game, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's third in points, third in rebounds, second in assists. I mean, the fact that he shoots 56% from the field and 48% from three.
He is a center, so I mean, majority of his shots are within.
Yeah, a center that shoots 48% from three.
Well, I
that attempts 4 threes a game.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he shoots the ball, bro. And that guy's honestly one of the most, despite being probably one of the more boring players to watch, he's honestly one of the greatest players I've ever seen.
He's just good. It's just simple.
Like he's Mr. Fundamental. That's all I gotta say, bro. His shot looks crazy.
No.
Everything looks silly about him.
Tim Duncan.
There's a new Fister. There's a new Fister Fundamental. Whoa,
Mr. Fundamental.
There's a new Mr. Fundamental in town. And then
that was an all-time mix-up.
And then to cap off the West, the runaway MVP somehow, some way, I don't know how, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
yeah.
Which
all right, so it's Curry, SGA,
LeBron,
KD, and then Jokic.
Yep,
that's fair. I mean, I feel like that's pretty fair. Maybe outside of
Curry, but everybody else I think probably fits in there. And then on the East side, you got Brunson, who honestly
I've heard a lot of controversy with that.
Brunson,
I couldn't tell you, but I couldn't tell you otherwise. But I do know that is a big topic at hand right now. That he made it as a starter over Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham, I think he's definitely
pull it up right here. We'll compare him We'll compare him.
I mean, the thing with Cade Cunningham is, I will say, he is a great player. I think it's the fact that he's on the Pistons that he gets the
Pistons are the 6th seed, I mean, I know you could say what you want about the East being bad, but like they're still the 6th seed. I don't think it's that crazy.
I mean, it's not that the Pistons are doing bad. It's the fact that Brunson is playing with a guy that's 4th in MVP voting, and with as Cat, and he's still putting up the numbers that he's putting up. I mean,
I have not seen numbers this year. I know Cade has been having a good year, but I don't know about Brunson. I know Brunson didn't he have like a 50 bomb within the last
Brunson
month or
has
something
plenty
like
of
that?
50 bombs.
No, I know, but like recently I think he had one. So Cade is at 24, 6, and 9, and then at 45%. I could see it. I can't see there's Brunson.
Oh, there you go.
26, 3, and 7 at 48. So he's shooting 39%. So here's the thing. So it's like, what do you value more? Do you value the all-aroundness with the more rebounds and more assists, or do you value the scoring aspect more?
I mean, but then you gotta take into account.
I guess the scoring aspect isn't that big of a difference. And yes, I agree with you. You're talking about a guy who's been putting up 20-20 games like every week.
Yeah.
And Karl Anthony Towns. So yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. It's just I don't know. I feel like when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, Cade and Brunson, I feel like they're playing on the same level. So it's like, it's just take your pick. That's the thing.
See,
it's just like take your pick at this point.
Like nowadays, though, I think it's hard to compare. Like you said, Cade
probably came
Cunningham
down
is
to
an
fan
all around.
voting.
But I think the
came down to
difference
fan
is
voting.
like Cade Cunningham's a point guard, a 6'6" point guard. Like Jalen Brunson is 6'2". He's not gonna get rebounds like that. He's not gonna, get that same.
But that's still
statistics. Not that I'm taking it away from Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
But it's like when you compare the two, it's like you got to take into account that. I mean, Brunson. I think last year Brunson averaged 4 assists, and now he's averaging 7 assists. I mean,
that's just having Cat. That's just having Cat.
That could be
100%.
But I mean, he's made a bigger jump in his facilitating. Like I said, Cade Cunningham is a great player. I think it's the fact that he's on the Pistons and has he's pretty much the star of the show. Like nobody else is really paying attention to anyone but him.
Maybe Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey's he's been playing pretty well, right?
But he's hurt. He's out of this. He's out for the rest of the year.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Like he broke his fibula or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So it's like, I mean, Cade Cunningham definitely. I will say that he's going to be a rising star in the league, and I think as more of the older players rotate out of the league, he'll be easily a face of a franchise. Yeah. But I think
the Pistons
right now,
ever get good, it's going to be because of him.
I mean,
if the Pistons ever get really good,
Brunson went from being an absolute nobody in Dallas to having one good year at the end of that Dallas.
He had a good playoff run.
Yeah,
and everybody clowned the Knicks for signing him on that big deal.
Yeah, now he's shut up a lot of people.
Yeah,
he is.
I agree with you. But like I said, it's like after seeing stats now, it's like
it really is a toss up.
It really is. It really is. It's like, what do you value more? Do you value the more efficient scoring and Brunson having more points and having a higher field goal percentage, or do you value the all around aspect of it being the 6 rebounds a game and the 9 assists a game? Because you can't deny being top 5 or top 3 in assists. That's definitely a big thing. I mean, obviously though, you look at this, he's 7 assists a game and he's top 10. But then you add, like I said, the rebounding aspect to it, and then also the points per game aren't really that different.
No, that's true.
So,
I think it comes down to it might come down to team success at the end of the day. Is that
it could be it very well could be. If it came down to fan voting, then Brunson probably won because there's probably would have won. And then I guess if you went down to whoever the other voters, the actual voters are, that it's like fan voting,
it's just
and then
a bunch of journalists, a group of journalists that they bring together. Yeah, and then I think I think the players get to vote, don't they?
Do they? I have no idea.
I think it's players.
I think at the end of the day, I think people are just overreacting about this. I think it really doesn't matter. Obviously,
Cade will be on the bench either way on the All-Star team.
Exactly. So. It's not like he's not going to make the All-Star team. I mean, should he have been? Could he have been a starter? Should he have been a starter? Who knows? Who cares at this point? It's like they're both great point guards. They're both going to be on the All-Star team. It's not going to matter. All right.
And next up in that front court, you got Donovan Mitchell next.
You mean backcourt?
Backcourt, all the same to me.
No, it's not. It's not. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell. Yes,
Donovan Mitchell,
probably
obvious pick.
He's the best player on the best team. He's got to be a starter.
Obvious pick. You don't even really have to say much about him.
Yeah, he's the best player on the best team. Yeah.
You got Tatum.
Again, like
another obvious pick, pretty much. I mean, there's not.
it's like who else are you gonna pick in the East? Who else are you gonna pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is with Tatum is he's been another guy that's pretty consistent.
No, pull up
night in,
Tatum.
night out.
Pull up Tatum real quick because I know he's average. I'm pretty sure he's averaging like 25 or something like that. But again, he's on a crazy team.
I mean, almost a double-double.
Oh, 27. Okay,
Fifth in
yeah.
scoring, almost averaging double-double.
He's another one though. He's
I mean,
like,
it's Tatum.
even if there was like another guy that was kind of close to him for that spot, I still think you got to give it to him.
I mean,
it's
fan
just Jason
voting,
Tatum.
fans love it, Tatum. I mean, that's all. That's enough said about Tatum.
He's like top 5, right? Top 5, top 3, top 2, maybe.
I mean, when he gets a cut, he's top 5. That's what he says. So I don't know if you saw that one. Like next up, you got Giannis. I mean, you don't even have to say much about that. Literally, one of the greatest.
And then I know Cat's the last one. It's like
Cat is the last
anything
one.
about that either.
Cat 4th in MVP. I mean, Giannis is like 3rd in MVP voting. Cat's 4th in MVP voting. I mean,
Cat has been playing on a different level right now.
Like Cat's loving New York
for what he does. He is, dude. Low key, from some of the box scores I've seen, it looks like Shaq. Like it's just like he's putting up like he'll put up like 25 and 20, like 25 points, and like 20 rebounds. It's like that's just really funny.
Well, I mean, the thing is like I see
almost 14 boards a game, and he's shooting 54% from the field. That's crazy, and 43% from 3. Like he's just like he's low key just like. He's kind of like Jokic. He just doesn't assist the ball. Like he just doesn't throw. He doesn't dish the. I mean, 3.5 assists for a center. It's not bad either. But it's just obviously it's not Jokic. I mean, but nobody's Jokic.
Yeah, I mean Jokic. They built the team around him, so it just makes it. Makes it easier for him. I think Cat. I mean, obviously he's making the most out of getting out of Minnesota, and I mean, obviously you see what he left behind.
He didn't even want.
Not even.
He didn't even want to leave. That's the thing. He didn't even want to leave. He got traded. He was upset when he got traded. He wanted to stay a Timberwolf forever, but it's really helped out his career.
And now you see what Cat left behind. Like a dysfunctional Minnesota team.
Bunch of nothing. You pay him. You pay Rudy Gobert over Cat.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of All-Stars, I think, like I said, outside of Curry, I think all the picks are pretty.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd say pretty good.
All right, I had an agree or disagree on here, but I didn't think of any questions. That's kind of.
I think we can do agree and disagree on the MVP, and that's just Jokic. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Disagree. I would have to. If we had a full episode on this, this would be strictly segment based on an NBA. Honestly, any other sport outside the NFL is just like strictly segment based, just because every other sport has so many more games than NFL and college football. I guess maybe college basketball you could do like in depth on games, but yeah, that next time we actually do a full NBA episode, we'll be more prepared for this. Yes, because the highlight was obviously the champ games for the NFL. So, I guess we're done. I mean, it's a long episode now. We're going on an hour and 40. It'll be one of the longer ones, if not the longest one at this point.
That's just what happens when I'm here, man. I don't know.
That is true. Last time you were here, I think it was. Well, no, we did that one. Remember the one over like Christmas? It was that
was like a shorter one, I think.
Yeah, that was just to get one out because
I've been here for the longest one, the shortest one.
Yeah, that one was only like 45 minutes. I think that one was quick as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next time we're back, I assume we're going to do NBA. We could do college. We're probably not going to do hockey yet.
We could talk about how the Dodgers are...
We could talk about the MLB
making baseball great again.
That's what the whole episode's going to be. Just anytime we talk about something. They're not the Dodgers. But... Yeah,
We'll
like
see.
next time we'll have a. Also, I guess because now that football's essentially over, I need ideas because I don't know if we should split up episodes. I don't know if we should do full episodes. I don't know at this point because every single podcast episode from here on out is going to be a way different layout than any football we've done. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas, let me know of what to do. Because I'm gonna be lost next time I'm coming up with stuff. Because it'll be tough to do strictly segments for a full episode for one sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoyed the NBA content, let us know. Again, this is the final weekend with multiple games in football before it is gone. So I'm definitely
cherish it.
You gotta cherish it, bro. I'm definitely obviously go Birds, you know. And then yeah, let us know what we should talk about next time. If you guys want to see NBA again, if you guys want to see MLB, if you guys want to see if you want to see hockey, we'll try. That might be like a Cameron and maybe possibly one of our other friends, Ty, who they know more about hockey than we do. I know the Lightning. Outside of that, not really much. I know you virtually.
I know the Kings.
Nothing.
I know Adrian Kemp is one of the best hockey players I've ever seen. So
okay. Yeah, like I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. All right. So yeah, next time we'll either do NBA or MLB. But outside of that, I don't think there's anything else to talk about.
That's all I got.
If you guys enjoy the episode, I know it's a long one. Hopefully you made it to the end. Leave a like if you're new. Hit the sub button. Comment any ideas you want to see next time. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything else to say. Do you wanna say goodbye to your fans? I know you got a fan base on this channel.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that supports me. I appreciate it a lot.
You got day one supporters, bro.
They're like the most loyal people, bro. I'm telling you. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. So again, enjoy your football. Not a lot left, and we'll see you guys next time. Oh. Just hit the mic. I just hit the mic. We'll leave it on that. See ya.